Alright, we'll start off with some oil down on the griddle, just how we should start every cook, just to make sure we're nice and lubed up to get this thing going. And I'm going to put down my 2 sheet pans of rice, which I did the day before, put in the sheet pan, put in the fridge. So there goes 1, there goes 2, get the parchment paper off there. I always like to do it the day before, lay it out, try to dry that rice out in the fridge. You can see we're around 425 for this hibachi cook in my backyard. I'm going to go ahead and chop that rice up just to try to get it all loosened up. It got a little bit stickier and mushier than I wanted. I doubled the recipe. That's 4 cups of rice. Normally I only do 2. It looked like I used too much water from my research, but if you got any suggestions, let me know. Garlic butter, beer, of course, all the ingredients, teriyaki, soy sauce, eggs, onions, zucchini, mushrooms, steak, chicken, shrimp, udon noodles, sesame oil, green onions, and the yum yum sauce. So that's just my setup, so you could see how I had everything set up to go after the rice went down. There's my garlic and butter mixed together. That's 1 whole stick of butter and about 3 tablespoons of garlic. I let the butter soften and mixed it together. Some fresh cracked black pepper going on the rice with the garlic butter. Some seasoned salt, that's Johnny's seasoned salt. I don't own that seasoned salt, but you know, I'd accept free product if they're going to send it to me. They haven't yet, but I'm just throwing that out there. There goes some onions and some zucchini. I cut the zucchini very big into very large sticks. They almost look like big old pickles on there. You can see them when I pull it up here. Man, this big old zucchini, huh? Look at that wedge. But I do this on purpose. I also heavy chop the onion because I don't know if you do like the half moons on the zucchini, it's going to get too mushy. It's going to cook down way, way too far and get too mushy. So that's why I like to keep it in the zucchini sticks, and they can handle the heat for a little bit longer rather than smaller pieces of zucchini or like diced onions. So keep it a little bit bigger. They're sliding away from me because my back patio is uneven. That's okay. Hit those up with some of the teriyaki or soy sauce, is going on the rice. So rice has garlic, butter, soy sauce, pepper, and seasoned salt. Be easy with that seasoned salt because the soy sauce is going to add a lot more salt as well. So you really don't need a ton because you're going to get more salt from the soy sauce. I'll have the full recipe down in the description if you'd like to copy it. So go ahead and mix everything. Oh, looks like I almost lost one of those zucchinis. Mix up my rice, make sure get it all together. I want it looking nice and brown, sitting over there on the other side of the griddle. I put it on first just so it can continue to cook up and dry out and really fry up for fried rice for me. More soy sauce because I didn't feel like it was brown enough. It's not an exact measurement for me, but you know, I just kind of eyeball it till it gets to the color that I want. I just want everything to be a little bit brown, but I don't want too much because of the salt content, like I said. And people can always add more. That's the way I feel like. You can't take away soy sauce and you can't take away salt, but you can always add more when it's done. So I try to just get everything nice, even color here, close as I can. Here's some more garlic butter going down into the vegetables. Also some more pepper going there through just a little bit of oil so that butter doesn't burn. And then some more seasoned salt. So make sure we mix all that together, get the butter down on the griddle so it can start melting, mix in with those vegetables. There's the mushrooms. They did not go down initially because of the same reason I didn't cut the zucchini down into a smaller size. The mushrooms are smaller and I don't want them getting mushy, so I put them down towards the end. This is where I made a mistake. I should have put the meat down right about now. I should have put it down now. I don't want to put it down too early because I don't want to overcook it or dry it out, but I waited too long. Not a mistake. Like the late great Bob Ross said, happy accidents, you know. You'll learn from them, do better next time, but no mistakes, just happy accidents in the griddle cooking world of hibachi. So here's my best tip for you, is this little well that I'm making. This works out really well because I put a lot of oil down in there, then I put my already scrambled eggs in there. That is where the rice was, so it's like a way lower temp. It's way, way lower. If you do eggs in another part of the grill, they might start to burn, but that's probably down to like 250, so they can just sit there, slowly cook up. Also, your rice is containing them from like running all over the griddle. So if you want to do fresh cracked eggs like they do at like Benihana and stuff, you can do that as well. I just find this easier as I just let the eggs slowly scramble and I just start kind of pushing the rice in. So just push it into the eggs and they'll slowly scramble. You can see me turn down the burner up there, and I'm really just working towards that area of the griddle becoming a warming zone, and eventually it'll just be off and it'll just be turned off and the whole top side will be my warming zone. But now the eggs cooked up, I can just mix them all together with all the rice, give them a chop, make sure I got all my eggs mixed in there, my rice mixed in there, the veggies are still cooking up. Again, it would have been quicker if I had the meat down already, but I did not. That's okay. It's still okay. We're not going to dwell on it. And we just keep this rice going with the eggs, and we got our veggies, and we're just going to make it kind of get all mixed and let it just sit over there and crisp up. I really like when the rice gets like nice and crispy. If you don't like that, feel free to pull the rice right now. I would just pull it. I have a big old half foil pan that you find in the baking aisle at your grocery store. You'll see it a little later, but I'd recommend that for this type of fried rice. If you make this much, this is a huge batch of fried rice I'm making here. But if you wanted to pull it, you could. It's done, it's cooked, the eggs are in there, the seasoning's in there. I just like to sit it on there and let it kind of crisp up. Again, also mine turned out a little bit mushy because I think there's too much water. Anybody has any recommendations for that, please let me know in the comments. I'm always trying to improve my fried rice and my griddle cooking. So here's the problem now, since the veggies were down, the griddle was only at like 250. So I'm turning it up there, pulling out the teriyaki, gonna hit up the veggies with the teriyaki, and I gotta wait a second because I don't want to put my meat down at 250. That's not gonna get the sear that I want. So I turned those two burners up to high, and now I'm just waiting for everything to get up to temp. Let's take another check. We're at like 300 there. 325, still not high enough. So what do? Go ahead and drink a beer. Boom. That's from Land Grants in Columbus, Ohio. They didn't pay me to say that, but I'd appreciate it if they sent me free beer. Just throwing that out there again. 375. All right, now we're good to go. Let's put the meat down. Here comes our chicken breast that I marinated in mayonnaise, soy sauce, garlic, salt, and pepper. I know mayonnaise sounds weird, but I just like the color that I get when it cooks on the griddle. You'll see later why I like it. There goes a ribeye steak down. Let's see where we're at for this. Oh yeah, it's almost up to 400. Good. I want to get a nice good sear on this ribeye. So that's going down. Also, this was just a nice fun cook for it was like 4 days worth of food for us. This isn't how we normally eat. I'm not living like a steak and chicken hibachi lifestyle every week, just so you know. We eat a lot of mac and cheese and hot dogs in my house. But the veggies were getting too done because I didn't put the meat down earlier. So I put them in the foil pan that I was talking about. So we'll bring them back later. I just didn't want them to get mushy. I'm just really don't want them to get mushy, and it gave me more room to keep spreading that rice out. It was doing fine while we go ahead and cook our meat and get a nice sear on there. So pulled those off, gave the rice a nice little chop and a flip, and let's see where we're at with this meat. It's been about 6 minutes, and yeah, that's why I like the chicken with the mayonnaise. But one of them had a big thick side to it, so I put the steak wake on it. We'll see our steak here. I got a pretty good sear. Not my best sear, but pretty good sear for the griddle. And then do not put it right there. Don't put it where you pulled it up from, because that's, again, the temp's going to drop. So I moved it like 3 inches to the side and to sear the other side. So don't put it right back where you pulled it up from. Move it over a little bit. Oh, did I forget more garlic butter? Darn right I did. Bring back the garlic butter, put it on the chicken, put it on the steak, just let it sit there and just kind of melt down in there and just enjoy the goodness. I just put it right on top of the steak. Eventually I'll move it off so that it can kind of cook around it after I get everything situated here, and make sure I get my rice and get another area here, because we still got more stuff to put down on the griddle. This is a full hibachi. I have all sorts of fun stuff that you saw there at the beginning, so we got to make room for that. And you can see the butter wasn't quite down, so that butter went down by the chicken, And then in a minute here, we'll go ahead and move that butter down by the steak once I get situated with the rice here. So can't go wrong with garlic butter. There goes the burner I was telling you about. Eventually I'd turn it off, and now it's just a warming zone. And that's just how it's going to stay. Everything's going to get pushed to the top, to my right, to the top of the griddle on your screen, and that's kind of where everything's going to go up there. A little bit of egg stuck there on the griddle, you can see. I get it up with my spatula, my beveled edge spatula. Then some oil goes down. We're almost at the end, so there's the udon noodles. I just put those in the microwave with water for like 30 seconds, and then they loosen right up. They don't cook, they just loosen up. Put some garlic butter down again with those. Some more of the teriyaki sauce. Just give it a nice flip. Oh, we got rice, we got noodles, double starch. You can't beat that. It really was, my wife really enjoys the noodles, and she really liked the way they turned out this time. So that means everybody was happy in Johnny's household. So there goes the rice and the noodles, mixing them all together, keeping them on that warm side. I mean, the noodles I'm just warming up, really. I'm not like cooking them. They're already cooked. You just kind of put them in the microwave to loosen them and then warm them up. Hit them with a little bit of pepper and then keep tossing them there. Then we're gonna have to make some room for a shrimp here, because that's what's coming next. And that burner's all the way off, but there's enough residual heat to cook this shrimp. It really doesn't take much to cook shrimp. So a little bit more oil, move the steak out of the way so we're somewhere in between the burners that are on and the burners that are off. It was like 300. Sorry, I know you couldn't see that thermometer there. There goes my 10 shrimp. I leave the tail on. I just like the way it looks. No particular reason other than that. A little bit more of the garlic butter going down. And I mean, shrimp and butter is really all you need. It's hard to beat that. Our chicken's looking great. Let's go ahead and take some temperatures here. We're looking for about 165 on the chicken. That big one that I got in the front wasn't quite there. It's got a real thick part. Always do the thickest part. It's about 170 for that little one, so we can put that in our warming zone. Then you'll see here I stick it in the big one, and it was only about 135. You couldn't see because it was too bright, so I apologize, but that's why I flipped it and put the weight back on. Our steak got to about 125, almost 130, which is perfect for me because it's going to keep rising to about 140, 145 for medium rare, which is where I want it once I put it over in the warming area. So I just pulled it right there about 130 and assumed that's going to rise up that other 10 degrees. And it did. It got to a good medium rare. A little bit of teriyaki going down on the shrimp. This is my first time cooking everything whole. Normally I cut up the steak and chicken, and this worked out well. I really feel like it kept it juicier. You can cut it up afterwards. You can cut it up and throw it back on the griddle if you want afterwards. My wife and I just cut off pieces that we wanted, saved some, took it to work the next day. I'd highly recommend doing it this way. It was my first time, but I had really good results. Back come the veggies. I almost forgot about those, so can't forget about my zucchini sticks that look like pickles. The shrimp is done, so we're just going to push that over. It's got a nice color to it. Started curling up. That chicken got done with the big thick part there. A little bit of green onions going on top. You cannot forget that as a garnish. And then also sesame oil is a must that I forgot to get a shot of. This was great. The only thing better than this is breakfast, which is on your screen now. I highly recommend watching that video. Have a good one. Keep on griddling.